Hi everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to my YouTube channel this week. Let's heal with Evermwende Ikandi is the name of my YouTube channel. Yeah, and I'm really glad to have you here. I hope you're healing from your pain and the traumatic experiences you've gone through in life because you need to heal so that you just function well. This week's topic is very interesting. Dealing with false accusations, dealing and coping with false accusations. How do you get to cope with false allegations and accusations against us? How do we cope with them? That's what I'm talking about. Have you ever been falsely accused for something you didn't do or say? How did it feel? It must have been so painful, I imagine, because it's very painful to be falsely accused. It's very, very painful. Do you know the trauma experienced from false accusations, false allegations is equivalent to the trauma that people who face, it's equivalent to the trauma that is faced by people who go through war, people who go catastrophic experiences, disastrous experiences, and people, the military men, the military veterans, the trauma they go through in the battles, the trauma people go through in their catastrophes, the trauma people go through after being refugees is equivalent to the trauma people go through after being falsely accused. So trauma from false accusation is not to be underestimated, is not to be it's not just to be taken for granted. It is severe, it is serious, and it needs serious attention. What else happens after false accusations? One, you get depressed. You could get very depressed. And several other psychological reactions after false accusations. But first, let's look at what exactly is a false accusation? False accusations basically are untrue allegations, untrue claims made by somebody about you or against you. There's also that other aspect of defamation. Defamation is where people, where somebody has an untrue allegation against you, but with the intention of destroying your reputation, with the intention of hurting you, with the intention, it may be intentionally or not, but the defamation, the allegation causes harm to you. The allegation destroys your reputation. The allegation, of course, endangers your life. You could sue somebody for defamation. Actually, in Kenya, the Defamation Act states that one can be sued for falsely alleging issues or things against someone, either by speaking or by writing. And because it has its thresholds, I will not get into that deeply because those are legal issues. Let me stick to the psychological aspect of false accusations. But all the same, the legal aspect is very important as a way of coping, because sometimes you have to get legal in the course of coping with the false allegations said against you. Yeah, so let's talk about this seriously. It's a very serious issue. I can imagine I also know you've been falsely accused. How do you feel? It's very painful. I can imagine somebody out there is still nursing wounds of false allegations, especially because the repercussions are very severe. But why do people get to accuse us falsely? What are some of the reasons why people accuse others falsely? Malice is one reason. Some people just accuse you maliciously. When somebody accuses you maliciously, they do it intentionally, with the intentions of hurting you, with the intentions of destroying you, with the intentions of destroying your reputation. It's done intentionally and very well calculated, maliciously. Somebody could falsely accuse you maliciously because you are an opponent, or maybe you have something they desire to have, or maybe you wronged them. Somebody could settle scores by setting you up with a false accusation. So malice is one reason why people accuse others falsely. Maliciously setting up people with stories, maliciously cooking up tales and just talking about them without fearing. I think malicious people don't even fear. They don't blink about the tales they tell about others because the intention is to pull somebody down. And maybe sometimes it could be maliciously to block you from achieving from getting an opportunity, maliciously to block you from achieving a particular goal that maybe you are targeting. For example, someone could maliciously come up with false allegations to block your relationship from advancing. Maybe you're already engaged in courtship. Someone comes with false allegations that even makes you cancel your wedding. Someone could even come up with malicious allegations to have you fired from a job because maybe they want the job or they want somebody else hired. Someone could maliciously come up with false accusations because someone could come up with false accusations that you stole something so that you're punished and maybe you get out of the way because they need you out of the way. Sometimes false accusations act as a good riddance because there's always the repercussions of falsely accusing you. You're denied an opportunity, you're denied access to something or somebody because of the information given against you. Malice is one reason why people accuse others falsely. The other reason why people accuse others falsely, this flies. The other reason why people accuse others falsely is mistaken identity. Sometimes people commit crimes or offenses and they resemble us, or they have names that are similar to our names. So you could end up being a mistaken identity because you share the name of this person, of the perpetrator, so you're falsely accused. Mistaken identity, or maybe you were just around the crime scene, the crime scene, and then you end up getting caught up as a mistaken identity. Other reasons why people falsely accuse us is because of mental disorders. Imagine, do you know people with sorry, there's a plane today, there's a lot of distraction, a plane passing, a fly passing by, and it's okay, but let's get this done. Let's talk about these false allegations, false accusations. I was just saying that sometimes people can falsely accuse you because they are mentally ill. Somebody with a schizophrenic personality or a schizophrenic disorder can accuse people of wanting to harm them, yet it's just part of their disease. Because we are told somebody with schizophrenia always imagines that people want to hurt him or her. So they can easily allege that you want to hurt him or her. But it's their disease. So sometimes people accuse us because they are mentally ill, or maybe they are disoriented in their perception. Some people are too paranoid, they're too suspicious, so they just accuse you falsely. Other reasons why people accuse others falsely is you could be accused falsely after being misunderstood, or your intentions being misunderstood. Have you ever done something and your intentions were so misunderstood that it turned out to be a false accusation? For example, if you're a man who freely interacts with women and you get so touchy around women. So one time you meet this woman who you don't know has issues and you get touchy and she suddenly accuses you of wanting to sexually assault her. That was not your intention. But because you've been misunderstood, you're falsely accused as wanting to sexually assault somebody. There are so many reasons why people accuse others falsely. Very many reasons. Another reason why somebody could be falsely accused is when there is an investigation going on and the experts doing the job do a shoddy job, you know. For example, a crime has been committed, an offense has been committed, so there are experts investigating the matter and they do the job shoddily. Maybe they take wrong samples for DNA and you're mistakenly caught up in this thing. So a shoddy job done by investigators can make you be falsely accused. Yeah. You just end up, of course, sometimes you end up being a mistaken identity, but at the same time, a shoddy job could falsely implicate you. Yes, these are some of the reasons why people falsely accuse others, and the reasons are just so many. But let's look at the effects. Like we said earlier, the effects of false accusations can be so adverse. False accusations can really hurt us badly. Actually, false accusations can lead, like we said initially, can lead to trauma. Trauma that is so deep and it's equivalent to trauma that is experienced after catastrophic experiences. Trauma that is experienced after war. Trauma that is experienced by refugees is equivalent to the trauma from false accusations. So it's deep. Actually, psychologically, false accusations can lead to post-traumatic stress disorder. Imagine. Can be that bad. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Depression can also be experienced after false accusations. Panic attacks. where you have been falsely accused, and every time something that resembles those accusations comes nearby, you panic that you feel like you're almost being implicated again. Panic disorder can also come in as a result of false accusations. We say depression, yes, and sometimes depression comes with suicidal ideations. Somebody could get suicidal after being so depressed about this false accusation. Remember, sometimes it's so frustrating. It's humiliating to be falsely accused of something, and especially where there is public ridicule. It can be very humiliating. So it affects your mental processes. It affects your emotional states. Yeah? Very painful. False accusations can lead to so many losses. Losses of marriages. Like if your spouse is falsely accused of something, the first thing you'll do is just sign for a divorce. False accusations destroy relationships. If your fiancé, your lover is falsely accused, it's very easy for you to just walk out of that relationship, even before getting the facts right. False accusations can lead to losses of jobs. People have been fired because of being falsely accused. It leads to a loss of opportunities. It leads to a lot of, alienation, isolation. The first thing when somebody is falsely accused that happens is they're isolated, even before people confirm whether the allegations are yes or yes or no, or true or false. They'll first alienate you. People will just distance themselves from you and not want to be mentioned with you. Alienation. And you can be very lonely when you have been alienated because of false accusations, where the effects are just too many. Have you ever been falsely accused? How did it affect you? Did you lose a job? Did you lose a lover? Did you lose a family? And then the other thing that happens also after false accusation, there is secondary trauma to the significant others of the accused. Yes. Secondary trauma in that somebody could be falsely accused of very serious offenses that they finally end up being arrested and jailed or punished, one way or the other. You can imagine the ridicule the family goes through, the expenses the family has to incur, maybe in legal processes, then even the shock, the shame, the pain, the anxiety of what will happen to our person. So the family or the significant others, even friends, they experience secondary trauma. Every time someone is falsely accused, the significant others also suffer. And the effects are just so many. Then psychologically, it has been established that false accusation can alter your personality. Imagine, yes, false accusations can make your personality change. Permanently. It happens. So, for example, somebody is accused of rape. After maybe exoneration or after they are cleared of the charges, they come back to the community. Do you think people will treat that person normally? Again, never. Parents with girls will want to hide their girls from this man who has just been released from jail with rape allegations. What happens to this man? He will tend to fear associating with the female gender, for that matter. Yet maybe in their nature, the people who interacted very freely with female. So it can really disorient you, your personality, your behavior. False accusations can really change your personality. Can give you identity crisis, yes, because remember, most of the times when you are falsely accused, people refer to us according to their accusations. If you have been accused as a corrupt person, people always refer to you as this corrupt person. The label, the tag on you is so stronger than who you really are. If you're called a thief, if you're falsely accused of theft, the label on you is that of a thief. People see you as a thief. If you have been labeled a prostitute, people will just see you as a prostitute, regardless of whether you are one or not. So these false accusations give us an identity crisis. If you're not solidly founded in your personal, in your identity, in your self-image. Actually, it disorients our self-image. Yes. And it's also good to be very self-aware, so that when you're falsely accused, it doesn't shake you, it doesn't shatter you, it doesn't shatter who you really are. When you know who you are, when you're falsely accused, it does not disorient you much. Although it affects you, yes, it affects you mentally, it affects you emotionally, but it doesn't get you so shattered. Excuse me, it's hot here. Yeah, so as I was saying, it's very important to just check out for the effects of false accusations around our lives. How has it left you? Has it left you emotionally wounded? Has it left you with so many losses? Has it left you so lonely? Has it left you so depressed? Do you have post-traumatic stress disorder? Do you have panic attacks? Please check how it has affected your life and don't be in denial. False accusations affect us a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. It's hot. We are at the coast, so you can imagine the heat, eh? Yeah, so let me finalize by saying, what happens when you're falsely accused? What do you do? Now you have been falsely accused. What next? Now that they have accused you, what's the next thing to do? 1. Who is your accuser? Identify the person that has accused you. Find out if they are known to you or not. Are they known to you? Are they not known to you? Establish if this person is sober, because they could be these schizophrenic personalities accusing you falsely. And you just don't need to take it serious. After all, this is a sick person accusing you falsely. Find out if this person has a grudge against you. It could be somebody hitting you back, somebody settling scores with you. Maybe you fell off some time back. There was a deal you had and it didn't work out well. So this person is disappointed and they're hitting you below the belt. So find out, why is this person accusing you? Are they your competitor? Are you competing for something? Are you eyeing the same position with this person? So you can imagine this political season. You could want to find out who is mudslinging you, who is falsely accusing you. Is it a fellow political aspirant? Do they want me out of the way? Is that why they're accusing me? The moment you know your accuser, you are better off. You understand better how to cope with the accusations. Number 2, their intentions. What does the false accuser want from you? Do they want you out of the race? Do they want you out of that opportunity? Do they want you do they want you to lose credibility? What are they targeting? Because it's always something targeted by false accusations. Find out what is being targeted by these false accusations. Once you establish it, it's easy to know how to go about it from there. Because the worst thing you can do is just give them what they want. After they falsely accuse you to get you out of the race and you just walk out of the race because of these false accusations, they have won. You have given them what they wanted. Sometimes just check what this opponent is after so that you know how to stick to your ground and not lose your position. How do you stick to your ground? Maybe by sometimes defending yourself. You might have to counter the lies with the truth. You might have to tell the truth, your version. Sometimes people hesitate to tell their version and you fear explaining yourself out. Hey, I've been falsely accused. Do not fear to tell your version of the truth when you have been falsely accused. State your case. Then also ask yourself, who is your judge? Who have you been accused to? To who do you stand accused? Is it the people that want your prospective voters, the electorate that you're being accused to? Is it your spouse that you're being accused to? Is it a potential employer that you're being accused to? Is it who are you being accused to? Who is your judge? So that you're able to tell how to approach this person who is the target of the false accusation. If, for example, it's siblings fighting, and they find the person who is supposed to be poisoned against you is your parent, that is your judge. If the false accusations have been taken to the electorate, the voters, the people you want to vote for you, they are your judges. So find out who is the judge in the false accusations against you, so that you know what to do. Are you able to approach this person who is meant to judge you? Is it the employer? Are you able to approach them and tell them the truth? Are you able to tell them, hey, it was a mistaken identity. Hey, this is my version of the story. Are you able to stand your ground and defend yourself? Please go ahead and defend yourself. There are times you have to keep quiet if you are falsely accused, especially if your accusers are strong, mightier, and many. Because fighting against the whole multitude could just prove so futile, and it can be so frustrating when they are out to destroy with false accusations, and there are many. They are powerful people. You might just have to hold your peace and maybe find alternative ways of fighting back. Maybe that's where you use legal redress. That's where you use activism. That's where you use other methods that it's not you directly combating these powerful people that are falsely accusing you. Because remember, they could just wipe you off even before you defend yourself. Yeah, sometimes you may have to keep quiet. Not necessarily fear, not necessarily hold back, but just to hold your peace for a while, to know the next thing to do. Because normally the first thing, the temptation to fight, to express, to defend ourselves is so strong after being falsely accused. There's that temptation to say, no, I didn't do that. Sometimes you just need to hold back your peace. Don't even be in a hurry to defend yourself. Hold back your pace. Let them talk. Get to assess the damage, because sometimes you also need to ask yourself, what do I stand to lose from this false accusation? What is at stake? Is it my relationship at stake? Is it my job at stake? Is it my candidature, my political candidature at stake? What is at stake? After assessing what is at stake, get to know if it's worth fighting for. Some false accusations are not even worth fighting back for, because after all, even the person to who you're being accused, it doesn't, there's no damage done. The person already sees it as false accusations. But if you stand to lose this precious person, please defend yourself, but not in a hurry, not emotionally. Be very sober as you're defending yourself. State your case very soberly. The other thing you need to do is seek legal redress. If there's a lot to be lost by the false accusations, please, you can sue people, you can have them arrested, let them be sued for defamation, and let them, it's your right. Nobody has the right to defame you. Nobody has the right to cook tales about you that especially destroy your reputation, that endanger you, that endanger your loved ones. It's not allowed. It's against the law. So sometimes you just have to seek legal redress. Of course, after consultation with the lawyers around you, get good lawyers who will not take advantage of the situation or side with your accusers to finally leave you hanging. So get legal redress. Finally, let me say this. Even as we seek for ways to address false accusations, please look for a loved one to talk to. Look for somebody you trust to tell your side of the truth. Tell your family the truth. Tell your spouse the truth. Don't be cowed down. Don't be intimidated into keeping quiet with the truth of the incident. Maybe it was just an exaggeration of what happened. Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. Then also seek psychotherapy, because we've seen the adverse effects of false accusations. Please seek a counselor. Talk to a counselor. Let them help you process the pain, process the emotions, because sometimes what hurts us is, how we feel about it, the frustration, the humiliation, the shame, the confusion that comes with false accusations. Talk to a psychotherapist. Then let me save this finally. Talk to your God, the higher power. Every time you're falsely accused, it might be about your destiny. Somebody wants to corrupt your destiny forever with one false accusation. Remember, there are people who can just say one word against you and your life is gone. Pray, please. Remember, sometimes some of these people that falsely accuse us use their own forces. I'm not here to preach about evil and good forces, but the people who can falsely accuse you and go do silly stuff, silly stuff. I know you know what I mean. We are in Africa, somebody could just accuse you. For example, how do you make of this? Where somebody falsely accuses you of prostitution. You've never prostituted, but within a few months, you start prostituting. It means the accusations were so evil and they were backed by evil forces. So if you didn't pray, you'll be caught up by this thing they were really accusing you of. And they will be like, yeah, we told you this person is a prostitute. So sometimes when you're falsely accused, hold back and pray first. Because maybe your accusers are just not normal people. They're in another realm altogether. Please, I'm talking to somebody. Am I talking? Am I making sense? Pray. Although remember, sometimes some false accusations can give us a new identity. So you surrender to this identity. Psychologically, it happens. When somebody labels you something, remember the saying that give a dog a bad name and it will become that. So sometimes somebody can just falsely accuse you and you just adapt this label on yourself. Psychologically, you become who you have been accused to be. That's a psychological process. But I'm talking of the other side of, yes, you know what I'm talking about. As an African, pray. Please pray. Pray to your God. Pray to the God of your own understanding so that you're vindicating, because also God has a way of making things happen and you're vindicated. If these allegations are so evil and you pray, God's power can counter them and shatter them and the truth is exposed. Please don't take false allegations lightly. Don't take them lightly. I'm talking this from experience. Please don't take them lightly. But finally, let me say this. Every time you're falsely accused, look at the accusation as a plant, as a seed that is placed beneath a very huge rock. This huge rock is the false accusation. What happens with the truth of that accusation? It begins to sprout slowly by slowly underneath the rock. Then it splits the rock apart. And this seed germinates and it becomes this beautiful plant that grows and speaks for itself. So the truth finally comes out. So let me say this, the truth always prevails. No matter how badly they accused you, the truth will prevail. Who you really are will come out. Even after many years, we have heard of cases of people that were executed because of false accusations. But years and decades down the line, they were found guilty. Too bad justice hadn't been done. They had died prematurely, but the truth came out. So don't you worry, the truth will always come out. And stay strong, even as you face that false accusation. Handle it soberly and remember to pray. Thank you.